Great new day to all my self-care family and friends. Welcome to another episode of the Room2Breathe podcast, the space where we untangle life's chaos, dig deep, and give ourselves permission to exhale. I'm your host, Life Coach 614, and I am so thrilled to have each and every one of you here with us today. Whether you are listening from the comfort of your home, on your morning commute, or while you're out taking a walk, I'm just grateful that you've carved this time out for yourself. Now, before we dive into today's episodes, just a quick reminder. If you are enjoying the show, don't forget to tap the screen, like, comment, and share. Your support helps us to connect with more amazing people like you. And if we are not friends already, please be sure to give us a follow, subscribe to our channel, so that way you never miss out on our latest content. I also invite you to visit our website at theselfcareclub.org. There we have affirmative apparel, motivational merch, and a bunch of free resources designed just for you. It's all about empowering yourself and embracing your journey. No matter what challenges you're facing, remember that you're not alone on this journey. We are in this together, supporting and uplifting each other every step of the way. It is time for us to choose to prioritize our well-being, to embrace our growth, and to find peace in this present moment. So let's get ready to breathe, reflect, and grow together. Let me see some green hearts in the chat if you are ready today. Thank you so much, Butterfly. I appreciate you. I see you, Kale. How you doing, sis? We got Lady Blue in the house. I saw Janelle. Welcome in, you guys. I'm so happy that you guys made it today. And honestly, if you're here right now, there is probably a part of you that is holding on to something that hurts, right? If we're being honest, something that keeps replaying even when you try to ignore it. It may be a name, a face, a moment, a memory, something that someone said or something that someone did. And if you can identify with that, then this episode is for you, right? It's for that part of you. Hey, Cardi, welcome back. The part of you that's been holding on to anger, maybe longer than you care to admit, right? The part of you that keeps wondering if you're ever going to hear the words, "I'm sorry." And, to date, those words have yet to come, right? And maybe deep down, you're starting to realize that they may never come, right? So what do you do then? What do you do when someone hurts you but refuses to take responsibility? Hey, Queen. What do you do when the wound is real but the apology is missing? What do you do when your heart still aches but expects you to just move on? That's what we're unpacking today. She said, dang, you went in strong. Yeah, listen. We step on toes around here, but it's all out of love. Right? Butterfly says, if you hear them, would it really change anything? Nope. And you're right. Sometimes it doesn't even change it even when they do say sorry. But today I'll make sure I want to talk about what do you do when your heart still aches, but life expects you to just move on, right? So we're going to unpack this today, and not in a surface level, just let it go kind of way, y'all. Not that fake spiritual bypassing kind of way, but we're going to unpack this in a real, raw, deeply human, realistic kind of way, okay? Because this is about your peace, not theirs. I don't prioritize the peace of others. So we're going to focus on your peace, not theirs. This conversation today is about your nervous system, your boundaries, your healing, right? This episode today is going to be for the person who's tired of pretending they're over it, tired of smiling through clenched teeth, the person who's tired of faking it until they make it, right? Tired of playing nice just to keep the peace while they're losing their own. I think the thing that we forget oftentimes is that it's okay to feel how you feel. And it's okay to want freedom from that feeling too. This is not about forcing forgiveness. This is not about excusing what happened. And it's not about rushing the process. This is about liberation. Thank you, Janelle. This is about letting go so you can breathe again. So before we begin, I invite y'all to settle in, get comfortable. Trey's mom, welcome in. Hey, Latoya. God's property, welcome in. I want you guys to come in. I want you to get comfortable. Find somewhere that you can just be. And you know, truth be told, for some of us, that's our car, right? We just sit in peace. For some of us, maybe it's your bed. Maybe it's just 5 minutes in the middle of your day. And don't worry, if you happen to be listening while you're at work and you're like, damn, I can't do it. You can watch the replay later on today. All right? So wherever you are, let's just take this opportunity to make space for you today. Thank you, Janelle. Thank you, Trey's mom. Make space for you. And as we move through this conversation together, I want you to hold one truth close to your chest. You can release what hurt you, even if the person who caused the hurt never takes responsibility. That is the thing that I want us to focus on the most today. You can release what hurt you, even if the person who caused it never takes responsibility for it. Another truth that I want to make sure that we carry with us today is that you can forgive, not because they're sorry, but because you're ready to be free. See, forgiveness isn't about excusing someone's behavior or letting them off the hook. Forgiveness is about letting yourself off of their hook. I'm going to say that again because I know that seems confusing. Forgiveness isn't about excusing someone else's behavior to let them off the hook. Forgiveness is about letting yourself off of their hook. See, when someone isn't sorry, they're not acknowledging your pain. And that can make holding feel like a form of justice. Right? Time we know you're just carrying around, not them. Because they could care less. You don't need their apology to heal. Closure is an inside job. And so we need closure from a situation. We want freedom from a situation, right? But closure is an inside job. You don't need to admit what they did, right? And you don't need them to admit what they did. You don't need them to suddenly grow a conscience. You don't need a confession. You don't need a sit down. You don't need these things. What are we waiting for? Some long overdue, I was wrong. You don't need it. You can stop waiting for it. Because every day you spend hoping that they're going to take accountability is a day of your healing being held hostage by someone else who probably isn't even thinking about it. McLean gang. Just a tip. Welcome in. Listen, I know that right? Because maybe part of you still believes if they just understood how much they hurt you, they'd make it right. But here's the truth. they may never get it. They may never get it. And they may never care. So what now? Right? When they don't get it, they don't care. What now? Now you take your power back. Now you stop needing someone else to validate your experience in order to honor yourself. See, today you decide that I don't need their apology to begin my healing. We remind ourselves that we believe in ourselves. I validate my pain. Thank you for the heart, me. And that's enough, right? See, the more we walk anger in our heart, we fail to understand how heavy the resentment is, right? Resentment is so heavy. So there's no need to even sugarcoat it. It's heavy, right? Resentment feels like control at first. You feel like you have the power, that that there's something like you have the upper hand in the situation. It's almost like resentment feels like armor, right? And so we are walking around feeling like we have this armor on us, like a wall between you and the person who hurt you. But over time, that armor starts to feel like a weight, and you're the one who's carrying it. Hey, Lola, baby, welcome in. You're the one stuck carrying it. And it doesn't protect you. This armor that you're carrying does not protect you. It seeps into your sleep, your self-talk, and your energy. So again, it's not a protection. It actually poisons you. You start walking through life dragging this invisible sack of bricks, each one stamped with the name and date and betrayal from someone else. And you keep carrying that around. See, forgiveness isn't saying it's okay. It's not just forgiveness is saying it's dropping the backpack filled with blame, pain, bitterness, the old stories that no longer serve you. You don't owe anyone your resentment. You owe yourself freedom. So it is time for us to really start to understand that we deserve peace. And you deserve peace now, not eventually, not after they finally see the light, not once the pain disappears. You deserve peace now. Right here, right now, you are worthy of that peace. And forgiveness is not about weakness. It's about being a part of, something bigger, something healing, right? It's not about being the bigger person just for show. What up, maintenance man? Welcome back, Capo, Jericho, and D. Forgiveness is about choosing softness over self-destruction. It's about giving yourself space to exhale. When you forgive, you're not doing it for them. Great morning, Brad. How you been? You're not doing it for them, guys. You're doing it for you because you're tired, right? You're tired of crying in the shower. You're doing it for the you that can't focus because your thoughts keep circling the same pain over and over and over again. You're doing it for the you that just wants to feel light again. No problem, Eddie. Thank you for passing through. We appreciate you. That forgiveness you're doing because you just want to be, right? You just want to heal. You're tired of carrying around the burden of others. And, I forgive not because they deserve it, but because I do. Thank you, Tip. Thank you, Eddie. I choose peace even if I have to choose it again and again and again every single day. 10 out of 10, I recommend I choose peace, right? And see, I think the thing that we struggle with the most is knowing that we can forgive someone and still set boundaries. Right? Like, I can forgive you, but still, forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation. It doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean pretending that it didn't happen. Oh, it happened. You said what you said. You did what you did. And you know what? I felt how I felt. It is, right? I'm not going to fake the funk, right? It happened. You did that. You said that. You showed me that. But you are allowed to release the bitterness and still protect your peace. You are allowed to let go of a grudge without allowing them access back into your life. Forgiveness says, I'm done letting you live rent free in my heart. That's what forgiveness says. You can't sit here. Forgiveness says, I want you to eat, but I will no longer serve you from my table. I wish you well. Just do it well over there, right? All the way over there. And so while forgiveness says, I'm done allowing you to live rent free in my space, boundaries say, and you don't get to come back here just because I'm healed. See, that's where that's, I want you to eat, but I won't serve you from my table. I'm healed enough to know that I don't deserve, your behavior, your actions, the treatment that you give. I'm healed enough to know better. So I forgive you because I recognize that you're just a human navigating life just as I am. I forgive you. For whatever you said, for whatever you did, I forgive you. I release you. You don't have to worry about that burden because I'm not carrying it. Pick it up if you want to talk to your therapist about it. Right? So I forgive you and I release you from that. I wish you well. Right? We tell them, you have the day that you deserve. I wish you well. And like I said, I want you to eat, but because I'm healing, I can no longer serve you at this table. You don't get to come back just because I'm healing. See, this is where wisdom comes in. You can learn from the wound without keeping the infection. You can remember the lesson without repeating the pattern again and again. So let your forgiveness be the closure, right? Let your forgiveness be the closing of that chapter of your life. And then let your boundaries lock the door. See, when you walk somebody out the house, when you have company and let's say it's time to let them go, have them leave. You don't just go close the door and go on about your business. Because then that allows that company or someone else, something else, to come in. So once you close the door, what do? We lock it, right? So your forgiveness is the closing of the door. But your boundary is locking it. And so we're going to let our forgiveness close the door. We're going to allow our boundaries to lock the door. And then what we're going to do is let our peace write a new chapter, right? Let our peace be the new story that we write for ourselves. Because now, once we've locked that door, we're safe, we're grounded, and we're free. So let's talk about how do we release it, right? And y'all know healing isn't easy. So this part, the actual releasing of this is not easy, right? Because when you've been hurt and there's no apology that's coming, your mind wants to circle that pain again and again, like you're, analyzing a crime scene. You are constantly replaying what is said, what wasn't said, what you should have said, what you could have said, right? You try to figure out if you missed something, if you overanalyze something, if you simply just didn't understand it. Then your mind starts saying, did I deserve it? Maybe somehow what happened was my fault, right, Tip? But I'm here today to tell you it wasn't your fault. You didn't deserve it. But your nervous system doesn't know that right away, which is why releasing resentment isn't just emotional, it's somatic, right? Forgiveness and, just releasing resentment is something that lives in the body. It's in your breath, in your muscles, and the tension that you carry even when you're smiling through it. So what do we do with all that? Right? Like, what do we do when we're carrying all of this resentment, all of this anger? I'm going to walk you through some gentle ways of learning to let it go. Okay? First, one of my favorite ways of letting go is an exercise that I call write the unsent letter. Write the unsent letter. Now, when we talk about writing the unsent letter, I'm not talking about a text. I'm not talking about a DM. And honestly, I'm not even talking about something that you'll actually send. Okay? You are going to pick up a pen and some paper. We're going to go old school, y'all. Put the devices down. I want you to pick up a pen, a pencil, something, and a piece of paper. And I want you to write a raw, real letter. And it's just for you. I want you to say everything that you were never able to say in that situation. I want you to be as petty as you need to be. I want you to talk your shit. Okay? I want you to get messy. I want you to get loud on that paper. Say everything that your heart desires. This letter is your space to speak your truth without the fear of interruption, without feeling like someone's going to gaslight you. I want you to let it all out. The rage, the confusion, the grief, the betrayal, the disappointment. I want you to name what it did to your mind, right? I want you to name what it did to your body, your sense of safety. And so once you're finished writing this unsent letter, hey Brooks, then you and only you get to decide what to do with it. Whether that means you burn it under a full moon, maybe it means you bury it in the backyard, maybe you rip it up and throw it to the wind, or maybe you simply keep it in a journal just to remind yourself that you survived it. This letter is not about them. This letter is your closure to this situation. It is your clarity. It is your cleansing. That letter is not for them. Because again, it is called the unsent letter. Right? This is you getting your forgiveness without them. Because ultimately, you don't need them. Another activity that you can do to help you process this and to get your forgiveness is to move the energy through your body. Move it through your body. You can't think your way out of stored trauma. Okay? You have to feel it. You have to move it. You have to express it. So you're like, well, how do we move this energy, right? Okay, one simple thing that you can do is put on music that mirrors your emotion. Whether it's an emotion of rage, grief, numbness, nostalgia, whatever it is. Get your playlist together. Dance barefoot in your room until your chest feels lighter. Shake your limbs out like an animal that just escaped a threat. Stretch the parts of your body that feel tight. Let the tears come without apologizing for them. See, your body remembers what your mind is trying to forget. Resentment gets stuck in your bones. So movement helps you release it. So you have to begin to move that energy through your body. You can't just tell yourself, I'm okay with it. It's okay. It's done. No, you can't just tell your brain that. Your brain is going to try to forget, but your body remembers. So start moving. Move it through. Next, you can, thank you, Papa Tom. Next, you can create a release ritual. And when I say a release ritual, y'all, you don't have to have sage or crystals or some fancy candles to release energy. All you need is the intention. And like, can we talk about just how amazing that is anyway? Like, I don't need some fancy things. I don't have to go on a retreat. I don't need all of these things. All I need is the intention behind it. So I have to come into it with an open mind and open heart, with the intent to let something go. And so you're telling me that I can let it go because I have the intent to do so? Because it's something that I truly desire and want to do? See, a lot of people run around saying, oh, I can't heal. That's because you don't have the intent to heal. Your mind isn't open to doing it. That faith, without work is dead. So you have to have the intention behind this one, guys. And so when you want to create a release ritual, you have to pick a symbol of the pain that you're holding on to. Right? And I'm talking about, like, you can choose a rock, a piece of paper with their name on it, a photo, a journal entry, whatever it is. You pick a symbol, some object that symbolizes the pain that you're holding on to. So once you figure out what this object is that symbolizes the pain that you're carrying, you get to light a candle, right? You get to sit in silence. And you speak what you're releasing out loud. Thank you, Ted. You speak what you are releasing out loud. And so when we speak that out loud, we say things like, I release the story that this was my fault. I release the hope that they'll never, ever understand. Right? I release the hope that they'll ever understand, because I know they're never going to understand what they did to me, right? I release the version of me that waited for their validation. You can do this one time, you can do it once a week, or you can do it as many times as it takes. Ritual makes the invisible visible. It helps your mind and body sync up with what your soul already knows, right? Because your soul knows it's time to let go. So by creating a ritual, you are now having your mind and your body aligned with what your soul already knows. Another thing that you can do to begin to release this resentment is to name what you needed and give it to yourself. Name what you needed and give it to yourself. See, sometimes pain lingers because you're still waiting to receive something only they could give, right? Maybe it was an apology, accountability, a hug, an explanation, right? We are waiting for this from them. Maybe it was even just a conversation that felt like closure. But here's the thing. You cannot go back and rewrite what happened. It's done. Yeah, they are, Tip. Um, you can't relive what's happened, right? So even though we cannot go back and rewrite what happened, you can rewrite the narrative that says you have to keep suffering. You don't have to keep reliving it. So I want you to ask yourself, what did I need back then that I never got? What would I have loved to hear or feel then? Instead of the hurt and the pain, what would have helped me feel safe then? And now here's the hard part. It's healing, but it's hard, right? Whatever the answer to those questions were, as far as what you needed back then that you never got, what you would have loved to hear or feel, I want to give yourself. I want to speak the words out loud. I didn't deserve that. I was doing my best. I matter. My feelings are valid. Sometimes healing means reparenting your inner child, right? Being the person that you needed. Mm-hmm. And you know, sometimes we have to be there even when nobody else steps up. So again, it is time for us to name what we need and give it to ourselves. Lastly, I encourage you to choose peace one moment at a time. Choose peace one moment at a time. Knowing that this isn't a one-time decision. Okay, you can't choose peace now and then violence later. No, we just got to choose peace one moment at a time. It's a daily, breath by breath choice. And we're human. So understand that you might forgive today and still feel rage tomorrow. You might feel free one moment and triggered the next. This doesn't mean you're broken. You are not flawed. It simply means that you're human. So when you feel that resentment creeping back in, don't judge yourself. Don't force yourself to get over it. Just pause, breathe, and remind yourself, I'm allowed to feel this. And I am still choosing peace. I don't need closure from them to close this chapter for myself. Hey, Kojo. What up, Jordan? My peace matters more than their silence. Forgiveness isn't something that you can force. It's something you flow with. One breath, one boundary, one breakthrough at a time. So, again, you guys, if this episode stirs something in you, let it. Let it come up. Let it rise. Let it breathe. Healing isn't a straight line. Therefore, isn't a straight line. Some days you will feel free. Other days you will wake up and feel all of that anger energy over and over again. And that doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're human. It means that the wound mattered. It means that the story still echoes sometimes. But here's the difference now. You're choosing not to let the story define you anymore. You're not waiting for them to make it right. Right? You're making it right with yourself. That's liberation. You might get the words you needed to hear. I'm just going to be honest with you. You may never hear that apology. You may never receive that clarity. But you're not stuck there. Because the healing that you deserve was never about them. It was always about you. Your choice, your peace, your life. You're allowed to let go of commitment, even if they're still unapologetic. You're allowed to move forward without inviting them back in. You're allowed to say, I forgive you, but I also release you. I remember what happened, but I'm still choosing peace. Peace is not passive. Peace is active. It takes strength to stop replaying over and over again. It takes courage to stop waiting for their accountability. It takes love to say, I'm not holding on to this anymore. So if you needed someone to tell you that it's okay to let go, here it is. You don't need to keep bleeding from wounds that someone else refuses to acknowledge. You don't around the pain just to prove that it happened. You can choose peace. You can choose wholeness. And most importantly, you can choose. This isn't about forgetting who you are beyond the pain. It's reclaiming your energy, your joy, your softness. You've carried enough. You've waited long enough. You've hurt long enough. Now it's time to return to yourself, to your center, to your breath, to your peace. I want to thank you for letting me today, for allowing the self-care club to be a part of your healing. And as always, I'm here to remind you that you are not alone. You were never alone. And the weight feels heavy again, you're always welcome to come back here, back to this space. Reminder that you are allowed to heal without an apology. You are allowed to be free. Now, as we wrap up today's episode, I want to take this opportunity to say thank you for joining us. If you've enjoyed our time together and we are not friends already, please be sure to give us a follow, subscribe to our channel, so that way you never miss out on our latest content. And if you wish to be a featured voice on the Room2 podcast, we'd love to hear from you. And we'll discuss further details and get recording sessions scheduled. Over to our website at theselfcareclub.org. We have some awesome apparel, merch, free resources designed just for you to elevate your self-care game, or you just need a little extra you get through today. Know that we've got you covered. I thank each and every one of you for being part of the club community. I look forward to connecting with you all again soon. But to keep breathing and remember that you will always be supported here at the Self-Care Club. Don't be afraid to take up space, a little room for you to breathe. I pray that you all have an amazing day on purpose, and I'll connect with you again soon. Thank you.